Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. My name is Mixxo, and today we are going to be ranking every single GTA character, and that includes the side characters from the HD universe, while also I'm going to be ranking every protagonist from every GTA game. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so first on the list we have CJ from San Andreas. We all know GTA San Andreas is an absolute hood classic. I mean, this game was so ahead of its time. The fact that it's also one of the first games to, cover street life and hood life and make that into a GTA based game is really cool. And CJ as the main protagonist is really good. And basically the gist of his backstory is him going back to his original home of Los Santos. And the reason he does that is because his mother was killed, and he goes back to mourn her death and attend the funeral, but also try to find out like how his mom died, because it is a very mysterious death. I love the story so much, but also taking away the story side of it, the way you could customize CJ's character is really cool and ahead of its time. I mean, you can make him gain weight, you can make him lose weight by working out and lifting.
What's up?
Your fat to muscle ratio, that's what's up.
And I believe to this day, San Andreas is the only GTA game to have those character customization features. So that's pretty cool. When it comes to ranking, I don't know if I could really pick out any flaws with his character. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to put him in GOAT. I think he belongs there. Next up, we have Claude from GTA 3. You don't see many gamers, especially GTA fans, really talk about this game in length. And I know there's probably plenty of people that consider Claude to be this very boring protagonist. He doesn't really have that major of a backstory. I do know for a fact that at the start of the game, him and his girlfriend at the time rob a bank, but then out of nowhere his girlfriend turns on him and shoots him for dead, and apparently that didn't do shit because he was still alive, but the police caught up to them, or caught up to him specifically, because his girlfriend escaped, and then he went to prison for I think 10 years, I believe, and then he's able to escape from prison, and then he continues the game just doing random jobs for people. I guess the aspect of him getting betrayed by his girlfriend is pretty cool and pretty gnarly, but other than that, there's not really too much backstory to sink your teeth into. But I think the part that really draws me into his character is the way he carries himself. Him not speaking a single word whatsoever in the game. Yes, that is correct. If you have not played GTA 3, Claude's character does not speak a single line. This man is mute the entire game.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
And some people might call Rockstar Games lazy for that, but I believe it was an intentional thing, because think about it, why do all the other characters have voice lines except for Claude? So I believe that was done on purpose for his character, and I think it works really well actually. And he kind of gives me Terminator vibes in the sense that he doesn't really speak that much. Well, I mean, granted, he doesn't speak at all, but there's something cool about it, being a deadly assassin, and the fact that the only thing he cares about is his business. He's not here to have fun or to make friends. The only thing he cares about is making money and making a name for himself in Liberty City. And honestly, respect. Very much respect. So for that reason, I'm gonna put him in badass. Next up, we have Franklin from GTA 5. Now this is what I know a lot about. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if I have 1,000 hours on that game. And when it comes to Franklin's character, I'm gonna tell you right now, like off the bat, it's absolutely S tier. But his motivation is that he does not want to be a low tier gangster anymore. This man doesn't want to be stuck to just selling weed or robbing people or only being able to afford fucking Hellcats or diamond chains. And his main motivation is to be a big time player in the crime industry. He wants to be the boss man. He wants to sell units, and also the relationships he has with his friends are pretty interesting as well. Of course, you have his friendship with Lamar, which is just comedy gold.
What's up? Can a loop come in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that G-ass haircut you got.
And then, of course, you have his auntie, who he lives with at the start of the game, and I think she hates him. And they have a pretty funny dynamic as well. But yeah, man, Franklin is just such a compelling protagonist, and I will put him in GOAT tier absolutely without question. Next up, we have Johnny from the Lost in the Damn DLC in GTA 4. Oof, I just played Lost in the Damned very recently. I can't say it's my favorite DLC from the DLC pack, but it is a pretty interesting story. Now, Johnny as a character is kind of one-dimensional. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. His whole thing is that he's the leader of a biker gang. They go out and ride around on their bikes. They're always clashing heads with other biker gangs. Sometimes he'll go off and do his own thing. But yeah, other than that, he doesn't really do much. There isn't too much going on with his backstory, but I will say, if you play the games, oh my god, this man is so love-struck with his girlfriend, or I don't even know if she even is his girlfriend, because this woman is always cheating on him. She's also a really heavy drug addict. He tries to help her a lot, but she keeps on denying his help, and she always goes back to doing drugs. And this man, Johnny, continues to still love her, protect her, as though they were still dating. But if I remember correctly, they are not really dating in the game.
Fucking my girl, man, it's wrong.
And that is just so weird, man. I mean, come on, Johnny. I don't know, man. For now, I'm gonna put him in decent. He has some cool moments with his biker gang, but other than that, it's just whatever. Next up, we have Louise from GTA The Ballad of Gay Tony. You know, obviously, I think he's a way better protagonist than Johnny. He's a lot more fun. He can go out and do a lot more cool stuff. And the fact that this man can absolutely bust down and move in the club gives him respect points a lot. I mean, that's the best way I can describe him. Like, he's just a very fun guy. With his character, he used to be a former street fighter, or he used to be an underground fighter and fight. Like, have you ever watched Fight Club? You know, he was kind of that vibe. And with this character, you can go to cage fights and you can participate in the fights, which is so cool. And it's also kind of a challenge too, because some of these people pop up with bats in the ring or brass knuckles. Oh man, it's just so fun playing that game mode. It brings back so many good memories. And also, I think the relationships he has in the game are pretty interesting as well. I think my favorites are probably Tony, who he works for, and Tony is the owner of this nightclub, and Louise is a security guard, and that's his main thing, that he does stuff for Tony. He helps him run the place, and the missions that they do together are always so fun. And another favorite side character of mine has to be the mom, and Louise always shows up to his mom's crib. She's always cooking something, and they always have good on-screen chemistry. I mean, you could really tell that they're mother and son, and it really does remind me of times where I would visit my grandma, like on the weekends, and I would eat her cooking. So, you know, it's always a good vibe. I think a perfect place to put him would be Cool. I don't think his story is nothing too crazy, but he has some really cool moments, and he's a pretty fun guy, like I said. So, hey, that's all he needs. Next up, we have Michael from GTA 5. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it again. Michael is an absolute S-tier character, and I believe out of the 3 protagonists that you could play as in the game, I think he has the absolute best backstory, hands down. The fact that his story is about, you know, a bank robbery gone wrong, but he does a deal with the police or a corrupt policeman to keep his name safe and keep his record clean, and he has a good life for himself. He has a wife, he has some kids, he lives in a big house in the hills.
You are such a fucking animal, a deranged animal.
You fucking ain't right on deranged!
And I love the fact that, you know, in the present day when the game's taking place, that he's very content with his life. And it seems at first that he's very at peace with not doing crime anymore. And it isn't until unfortunate circumstances that he goes back into a life of crime. And it's a very natural progression and story arc of him, you know, not having an itch to do crime, to having to do crime. And I'm not gonna say why he has or has to be forced to do crime, because if you haven't played the games, go ahead and do that, because it's such a good story. But yeah, man, such an iconic character, maybe top 3 backstory of a GTA protagonist of all time. But with that being said, that's going into an easy S tier. Next up, we have Niko Bellic from GTA 4 main game. I am not gonna lie to you, GTA 5 was such a fun game. I mean, I played that game every day when I was a teenager, like I said. But GTA 4 absolutely has a special place in my heart, and I believe till this day has the best backstory or just story in general of all the GTA games. I don't know what it is about it. I think I just like the dark tone of it all, especially with the art. Like, it's not really too colorful. It's very desaturated and very gray, but I like that. And the story itself is very dark as well. Niko makes it very clear in the first couple missions that his goal is to live the American dream, live in peace, because he comes from a country that was at war, and he was in that war as a soldier. And correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the first conversations that he has with his cousin Roman is about how he had to do a lot of heinous acts in the war. He had to kill people, he had to watch people get killed, and all this man wants is just a better life for himself. But then his life reverts back to his old ways when he gets wrapped up back into crime, and it's a very nice progression into that. Now, I don't know what I'm about to say is considered a spoiler. I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't really think it affects the overall story of the game, but we eventually find out that Niko's goal coming into the US is because he wants to get revenge on the person that killed his squad in the war. Now, I won't say if he finds him or not, but yes, the game turns into a revenge story, and it is so good. Oh yeah, and it's the only game where you can do this shit.
Tell these bitch niggas go hate me.
If you couldn't tell already, I'm gonna put Niko in GOAT. If you haven't played GTA 4, go play that game. It is incredible. Next up, we have Tommy Vercetti from GTA Vice City. I think just like many other GTA protagonists, it's very, run-of-the-mill. Character is trying to make a name for himself in a big city, and Tommy's backstory reminds me a lot of CJ in the fact that both of them are trying to find the answers to mysterious depths in their close circle. And in Tommy's case, that's him trying to figure out who killed his friends while he was a part of this drug deal that gone wrong. But then of course you have this overarching story of him trying to make a name for himself in the city of Vice City. This whole game, not just the character or the side characters, but this whole game has heavy influence by mob movies from back in the day, but more specifically Scarface. But when it comes to Tommy's personality, there's nothing really that I can remember that stands out to me. I don't know if that's just the result of me not playing the game in so long, and I kind of have a foggy memory when it comes to his character. But yeah, like I said, there's nothing really about him that I gravitate towards. I think what intrigues me about the character is his actions and the shit that he does in the game. So with that being said, I think it's fair to put Tommy in cool, and yeah, let's move on to the next one. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I have not played any of the story games. I have not played Liberty City Stories, I have not played Vice City Stories, so I think it will be unfair to rank these guys if I have not even played the games. So y'all let me know where you would rank these characters. I don't know any of their names, to be honest with you. I bet you that they might have some cool moments and people might have fond memories of playing the story games, but like I said, I have not played either of them, so I can't really have a space to talk about it. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to Trevor from GTA 5, who is our last protagonist to rank. I would best describe Trevor as a ticking time bomb, and I mean it in every sense of the word, of how dangerous he is, and if he does go off, he might kill some people even if he loves those people. He's just an absolute nutcase in the best way possible. I mean, it makes for some very entertaining scenes in the game.
You never told me that you had a sister.
I'm Denise.
And my mother's old dried up ass
Shut
sister.
the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up!
Boy, if you don't get...
The fuck is wrong with you?
I got abandonment issues.
I mean, for crying out loud, this man has a freaking rage mode, and when you activate it, this man turns into God mode. He is killing people with one bullet. He is punching people to their death. It is absolutely batshit crazy. Now, Trevor's backstory is very similar to Michael's in the sense that, well, for starters, they were in the same bank heist, but while Michael was caught, Trevor was able to escape, and then Trevor changed his name. He is now living in hiding, and before he reunites with Michael, his life is pretty at peace as well, except his peace is wreaking havoc on biker gangs, owning a meth lab business, doing other little business ventures here and there. And I love how it isn't until he reunites with Michael where he then gets a new motivation to have a bigger life than his own. And if you played the games and know the story very well, you would know that Trevor's character is basically the overall catalyst of what happens at the end of the game, and it is so fascinating, and I'm not going to say too much if you haven't played the games. So with that being said, I would also have to put Trevor in S tier. Now that we got all the protagonists out of the way, I kind of want to do a lightning round. Well, not really a lightning round per se, but I want to go through every single side character from the HD universe, so let's do that. So I already ranked Michael, but let's do Amanda. Amanda is the wife of Michael in GTA 5. When it comes to Amanda, she's not really the type of character that you would root for. You know, she's not really a good person. She cheats on her husband with the tennis instructor. She constantly badmouths her husband. They're always fighting and bashing heads, and it feels like the whole game, every time she pops up on screen, she is always portrayed as an asshole. So with that being said, I would put her in, I don't think she's the worst character, but I think I'll put her in a modest C. Next up, we have Tracy, who is Michael's daughter, and Tracy is basically the stereotypical dumb blonde. She's also portrayed as a girl that gets passed around a lot. Her character is pretty simple, and that's really all I can say to sum up her character. So yeah, not the most complicated character. I will put her in a modest B. Next up, we have Jimmy, who is Michael's son. Just like Tracy, he is not the most complicated character. He's a stoner, kind of lazy, and likes to rot in bed all day. He's always in his room playing video games.
What the fuck? Disrespectful little asshole!
Also, both him and Tracy are pretty spoiled by their father. It's giving incel vibes. I think that's the best way I can describe him. For with that reason, I'll put him in B, because I think he still has some funny moments, especially that boat mission. Next up, we have Wade, who is a friend of Trevor. Now, Wade is portrayed as a very dumb as bricks character. You know, the type of character that would put a triangle block inside a circle hole. And he plays the role as Trevor's sidekick. Well, I wouldn't even say sidekick. I mean, he doesn't really do anything in the game besides sit down and watch what's going on. With that being said, I will put him in C tier. Next up, we have Ron, who is Trevor's actual sidekick. And we do a lot of missions for Ron playing as Trevor. When it comes to Ron's character, I will say it's a little more fleshed out, being that he does hang around Trevor a lot, so we learn more about his character. And he serves as a business partner for Trevor, and he rides along with us throughout a lot of Trevor's missions. And he's portrayed as this very crazy conspiracy theorist, so he kind of has like this weird goofball, weirdo energy to him. And I love the fact that every time he hangs out with Trevor, he is always nervous around him. He's always stuttering like, Trevor, you can't do that, you know what I'm saying? It's always funny to see. Who could really blame the guy though? Trevor is such a crazy guy, and he is the type of person that might kill you for overcooking his food. Now, I don't know if he's absolute S tier. He might be teetering towards it, but for now, I'm gonna put him in A. Next up, we have Lamar, who is the best friend of Franklin. Like I said earlier, Lamar and Franklin have the absolute best chemistry on screen. They are absolute comedy gold. They're always making fun of each other, you know.
ass haircut, you nigga.
What? It's really fun to see, man. And I love the missions they do together. Maybe it's them going after another gang, or maybe it's them trying to sell drugs or steal drugs back, but it's always a pleasure when Lamar is on screen. Oh my god, we have so many characters to go through. So with that being said, I'm gonna put him in easy S tier. I don't think no one's gonna complain there. Next up, we have Tanisha, who is Franklin's girlfriend. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's too much we know about Tanisha. All we know is her and Franklin have a very rocky relationship with each other, and I believe we only see her one time in the game where she shows up to Franklin's new house. So because of the fact that we don't really see her or talk to her that often, or she's barely mentioned in the game, I would have to put her in D tier. Next up, we got Chop. No words needed. He is going all the way in S tier. Just an absolute legendary side character. He is such a fun companion to have, you know, with his tongue sticking now, and oh man, he's looking so cute, bro. I don't know how people would put him anything lower than S tier. I think he just fits right there, right in S tier. Ooh, now we're gonna talk about the GTA 4 side characters. Now, I'm not gonna talk about all of these people because some of them I barely know, and a lot of people I could talk a lot about, but I want this video to be as short as possible. With that being being said, let's talk about Roman Bellic. Roman is the cousin of Nico, who is the protagonist in GTA 4. Roman is such a goofball, and Roman is always getting himself into trouble. It seems like he's always at the wrong place at the wrong time, and we need to save his ass and drag him out of that dangerous spot that he's in. And you know, it's always a crazy time with Roman, and the fact that I think everyone knows about this, but Roman calls you every single day wanting to go bowling. It is
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go.
War is where the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other. Are you sleeping, you fat fuck? Come on!
it could get annoying for sure. And also low-key a Riz god, because he was able to pull this baddie. So with that being said, I don't know, he seems like S-tier material, don't get me wrong, but I wonder if him, you know, always calling us to hang out, or him always getting himself into trouble and we always have to rescue him, I don't know if that drags down the ranking for me. I don't know, you tell me. So with that being said, I think a good place and the right spot to put him would be A tier. I think he has some flaws for sure, but I mean, for the most part, he is a very fun guy. Next up, we have Mallory from GTA 4, who is also Roman's girlfriend. Mallory's a baddie, I'm not gonna lie. She's like a Puerto Rican lady, and she's been dating Roman for a couple years. I think she also works at Roman's business as like a desk job worker, as she's like counting numbers and doing all this shit. I don't know, but yeah, she's a pretty nice character. I will say she has a pretty nice personality, and she loves Roman a lot. Now, there is a part in the game where Roman catches Mallory cheating on him with another guy, and this guy's name is Vlad, and Vlad is someone that Roman owes money to. So Mallory, who wants to fix this mess, goes to Vlad, and she's like, oh, what can I do? And Vlad is like, oh, well, I will completely settle all debts of Roman, and he doesn't have to pay me anymore, but you have to have sex with me. And she actually goes through with it. Now I don't know how I feel about that, because yeah, it is still cheating at the end of the day, but she's doing it for her husband. But then again, another man laid hands and laid something else in her. Like I said, she's doing it out of love for Roman, and she doesn't want to see him in depth anymore, but it's like, you know. So with that being said, I will put her in B tier. Ooh, but right next to Tracy and Jimmy? Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, I just like her personality a lot more than Michael's kids. Oh, yeah, I don't feel right about putting her in B tier. I'll put her in A tier for now. Next up, we have Patrick McCreary, and he becomes a very close friend of Nico, and I think they do like a bank heist together, so that's where we bond the most with him. He's like this Irish dude as well. He doesn't have an Irish accent, but his family background is Irish. And when I think about it, he might be Nico's closest friend. And I know there's Lil Jacob as well, who's also on this list, and we'll talk about him later, but Patrick is like right up there too. And you know, he's a pretty chill dude, so I'll put him in A tier. I think that's pretty respectable. Next up, we got Francis McCreary, who is the older brother of Patrick. And funny enough, Francis is supposed to be a police officer. Now, I don't think he's an actual police officer. I don't know what he does specifically. He works like at the front desk. Well, he has his office and he's like doing papers and stuff, but he doesn't really go out and like stroll in a police car and ride around all day, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he works at a police station regardless, which is funny because his little brother does crime and does bank heists while he is authority, and he, you know, puts people in prison, which you know, it's a funny contrast. But Francis is also a corrupt police officer as well, so he's always giving missions to Nico to do, oh, go find this person and kill him for me, or hey, go find this person and frame him for me. So in reality, he's not a goody two shoes either. He is just as bad as Patrick. And Francis honestly plays a really big role in this game. Him and Nico exchange a deal where Nico is doing Francis's dirty work and doing all the stuff that he wants to get done or needs to clean and sweep under the rug, and Nico is the one to do that. And in exchange, Francis helps out Nico by trying to track down the person who killed his squad in the war. So with that being said, I will put Francis in a very high A tier. Next up, we have Little Jacob. Now, Little Jacob, I believe, is the first person that gives us a gun, or the first person that we really do actual crime for. And the thing with Little Jacob is every single one of his voice lines is in a very heavy Jamaican accent, and it's also like Jamaican slang and Jamaican language too, which makes it very hard to understand because he'll go on a full ass ramble in Jamaican and it's treated like he's speaking gibberish because Nico is like, I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about.
Speaking that gibberish!
If you're racist and you know it, clap your hands. What the fuck?
And it's always a funny dynamic between the two of them, but I'm not gonna lie, Little Jacob is a real homie. I mean, this guy is always at our aid if we need it. He always has a gun by his side. He's a real ride or die homie, man. I think we can even call him up for like backup too. I think there's a feature in the game where you could call him to hang out or to help you during a mission. But yeah, man, Little Jacob is him. He is that guy, and I'm cool with putting him in S tier because I think he belongs there. Next up, we have Michelle. Oh, where do I start? Such an interesting character. So first of all, the first few missions when we meet her and get to know her, she comes off as this very naive but very nice and a very kind woman. And on one of the missions, we go on a date with Michelle, and she's in the car asking all these personal questions like, Nico, where are you from? What are you doing here? Has Roman been involved in any illegal activities? And it's just very sus. Like, yo, you're kind of acting like a narc right now. Like, hey, yo, chill. But I will say, if you're able to make her have a good time with you on your date, you can convince her to invite you inside her apartment to do you know what, which is crazy to think about considering towards the middle of the story we find out that Michelle is actually a undercover cop, and yeah, and the only reason she was hanging out with us and Roman is to get information about something. I don't know if it's about us or if it's about Roman. So yeah, you can have sexy fun time with a cop, which okay. Oh my god, they're mowing the lawn so loud outside my apartment. Goddamn, chill. What the hell, y'all? When it comes to Michelle, I would put her like on the high end of B tier. Next up, we got Kate McCreary, who is the sister of Patrick. Yeah, Patrick has a lot of family members. It is crazy. And they all appear in the game, and we all do missions for every single one of them. But when it comes to Kate, she is a very nice woman. She is very sweet. From what I remember playing the games, I think Kate isn't naive, or she's not like opposed to her family being so inserted into crime and stuff. You know, I could be wrong about that. I'm not too sure, but I know Kate is one of the main love interests for Nico, and we could go on dates with Kate and we could take her out. Now, I don't know if the progression of dating exists in GTA 4. I don't remember or recall per se if you can make Kate an eventual girlfriend, but regardless, when it comes to the plot of the story, I like Kate being a distraction for Nico from all the crazy shit that he's been doing in Liberty City, and Kate really becomes a sort of comfort and break from reality for Nico, and I always like that aspect of the game. Like I said, the story is so good, man. GTA 4 story is so underrated, but when it comes to Kate, I would put her under Mallory. I think that's fair. Next up, we have Lad, who is our first boss fight, if you want to consider that, our first real main enemy that we come across in the game. But I want to put boss or main villain in quotations because come to find out, he is not really this big time mob boss, and in reality he's more of this mid-tier low end crime boss. He has a big mouth, a big attitude, he's very egotistical. He's like, oh, I run this town, blah blah blah, this and that, and Nico absolutely murks this dude in 2 seconds.
Nobody fucks with my family.
Family.
I mean, this man was not even a threat to begin with. And even the crime bosses who are levels above him even said that, oh, we don't care about that guy, he was a nuisance anyway. Which is crazy. Now, does that justify it putting him in D tier? I'm not quite sure, and the reason why I'm not putting him in D tier is for the fact that he plays the role really well of being this entry-level antagonist that we have to go through and giving us, you know, a taste of what the game's gonna be like. And his personality really works well with the character that Rockstar Games was trying to portray. So with that being said, I will put this guy in C tier right next to Amanda. I think that sounds right. Now, I know there's a bunch of characters that I have not yet ranked, as you can see here, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm just going to end it right here. But if you want to see me make a part 2 ranking other side characters, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be my ranking of every GTA protagonist, including the HD universe side characters. If you want me to include more 3D universe side characters in the next ranking, if I do one, let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, peace.